Of Ayin Hey Sichos Haran. A lot of chizik from Rabbi Nachman. If you believe what he's saying and you take it to heart, there's a lot of chizik. Sometimes you can learn the Torah of the tzaddik, and then still the Torah could say, nah, he's just fluffing it up. It's not real. No, what the tzaddik says is the emes. It's not a joke. And there was many things Rabbi Nachman told us about davening. Just try to say the Pashut Pshat. Don't do anything fancy, even if you're on fire for a little bit, and then after 2 minutes the whole thing goes away. It's okay, because maybe that's your chelik in tefillah. Maybe you don't have any more. And that's what a Kodesh Baruch Hu wants you to have. You give a lot of chizik. And what we did last week is we zoned in. We zoned in on one line, Rabbi Nachman said, which is a line that could scare some people. And the line is, let me just find it in here, because I didn't. So he says here, Rabbi Nachman says, certainly everybody, according to how much he knows his own lackings. Noah was here last week. All right, it's too bad. So we'll move a little faster. I said no one was from here last week. Was here, so I'll just chaz over. But here, by the way, here, use this. So everybody knows themselves. He says, "Roy l'ladas." You have to know shu rochak me'od me'od me'tefillah. This is not to depress a person, but to really motivate a person. That tefillah is so big. It's so geshmak. And tefillah does not mean Kadosh Baruch Hu going to give you money, can you give me money, can you give me money, which we're going to talk about tonight. Tefillah is much, much higher than that. Ki tefillah gavo mod mod. Tefillah is so high. This is the line we started with last week. The gavo yoser, you don't have it on your sheets. The gavo yoser milimad haTorah. It's even higher than learning Torah. Tefillah is even higher than learning Torah. That's what Rabbi Nachman said.
How so?
How so? Thank you, Chaim, for asking the question. So this is what we wanted to zone in on. Rabbi Nosson, Baruch Hashem, Rabbi Nosson, whose yard site was Asar B'Tevis. So in Hilchos Rosh Chodesh, in Likutei Halachos, is where we're in Halacha Hey, we're in the middle of Os Gimel. So really, I read this last week with some of the Chevra, but I guess we'll just go through it. Did anybody listen to the shir from last week?
I don't think we had last week. 2 weeks posted.
We had it last week.
I think it was posted. Yeah,
Maybe
it was posted.
Okay, so then let's chazer over.
There you go.
Happens to be, it's very, very important. It's about tefillah. It's about changing our perspective, because tefillah is something that we constantly need to be working on. It definitely needs chizik, and it really needs a new understanding. That's really, really what tefillah needs more than anything else. The old understanding has become droopy and wilted because it's not right. It's not right. And we were never really taught. And that's a problem with a lot of areas of Avodas Hashem, that we were never really taught properly. We were taught some stuff, but sometimes by accident, however it happened, we were taught half-truths, or sometimes not even truths. But generally it's half-truths. But when you don't see the bigger picture, the bigger context, you get stuck in something that really you should have worked through already and passed. But no one ever told you what level 2 was or level 3. All you know is level 1, so you just dray around reviewing level 1 your whole life. So let's talk about that. So in the middle of Oz Gimel, he says, Hainu ki yesh shnei bechinas tefillas. You have that? And the people have the page, it's over here. Yeah? No, you got it? I'll show you where it is. You got it? Hainu ki yesh shnei bechinas tefillas. There's 2 types of tefillah. He's going to break it down to 3, but it's 2 bechinas. Yesh tefillah shi lamata me'Torah, vi tefillah la Torah. There's one type of tefillah that's lower than Torah, and it's subordinate to Torah. Yesh tefillah shi bechinas achas im haTorah, and there's a type of tefillah that's actually one level with Torah mamish, v'gami gavo me'Torah, and it's even in some regards higher than Torah. This is what we want to get to. Ki yesh tefillah shi mispalin l'tzrachov, because there's a type of tefillah for a person to daven for his needs. Tainu parnasa, money, bonim, chayim, refuah. Right? Life, money, food, health, whatever it is, gashmius. V'zos tefillah nikris chayisha, and this is called chayisha, the life of now, of these hours of this world. V'hilamata me'Torah, u'tefillah Torah, and it's lower than Torah and it's subordinate to Torah. Why? Ki bevadei mishum mispalal tzracha tzarchei gufo v'einu miskavin klal b'shvil Torah, because a person who davens only for his own needs, and he's never having kavanah for it to help him in Avodas Hashem, in learning. Rak hu He's only asking for the gashmias of life. Laha'anaso, gufo, to have pleasure, because he has bodily needs. Zos hatfila bevadai ena chashuva lifnei Hashem Yisbarach. This is not considered an important tefillah in front of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Now, do not get depressed. Let's learn the sugya. But if you're only davening for gashmias, that's your only kavana, this is not what we should be going for. And that's the half-truths, because there's certainly you have to ask a Kadosh Baruch Hu for gashmias too. But if that's all you're doing, then you're in trouble. If you only have level 1, then you're in trouble. This isn't considered a tefillah, a bad tefillah. Okay, I'm going to be careful. It doesn't mean you can never ask for anything. But if this is only what you ask for. Rabbi Nachman speaks about this in some Rishtes. Everybody has certain tefillahs. They just weren't good tefillahs. So it doesn't saying it's referring to all times you're specifically and only asking Kadosh Baruch Hu for gashmias. That becomes a certain ra. He compares it to like the sugya in the Gemara, where you have a robber who's he's dug a tunnel under someone's house, and he wants to rob the person. And right before he robs, he says, Ribono Shalom, I really want to rob this guy. Please help me rob this guy. I want all of his money. Make it easy for me. I don't want anybody to try to stop me. Just let all the gold and silver be in one place. I can just get in, get in, and get out. It's a Gavaldik tefillah from the robber, yeah? It happens to be a shayla, is that real moon, is that not a moon? It doesn't matter. He's a ganav and he's davening. It's crazy. So says Rabbi Nosson, he's comparing. A person who only davens for gashmis is like that ganav. It's a scary zach. Now don't be scared. Don't be depressed. Don't be nofel b'daitos, says Rabbi Nachman. Let's learn the sugya. But we have to be honest. Kizeh yadu v'ner b'chush, because it's known and you could see. Shekol yimei chayenu hevel v'rik. V'yamenu ketzel over, because really the gashmis of life is empty. Hevel avol m'kol hevel. It's emptiness. It's like a passing shadow, it's a passing cloud. Right? The gashmis of life. 70 years, 80 years, if we're lucky, maybe it's a little bit more. Right? It's a quote. What's in Koheles? What's the point of a person's all of his work? If that's all he wants, his gashmis, what's the tachlis? If that's all he wants. And then Yitzbor offer kesef, and if he gathers kesef like it's dirt, and he has mounds and piles, and he's like, who's that duck that used to dive into his money? Not Scrooge. Scrooge McDuck, right? He dives into his gold coins. I don't know how that was even possible. That always bothered me. Right? He should have just hit his head and it hurt. No, somehow he dove into it. Okay, it's my own narishkeit.
He's a duck.
He's a duck. That's the answer. Oh, I didn't realize that's the answer. He's a duck. Person's not going to take it with him to death. Nothing in Gashmias he doesn't take with him. So again, if it's only for Gashmias, then it's a waste. Because it ends. It says in Pirkei Avos, and his money and his gold does not escort him. Right? After person 120, the person he's put in the casket, and you have the family surrounding him, carrying him. What does this guy want? This rich guy wants. He wants his gold and his silver to carry him. He wants his cars, his Teslas, and his stuff to drive him out into the sunset. That's crazy. It doesn't go with you anywhere. It doesn't go. That doesn't mean a person can't have Gashmias in this world. Right? We have to understand. We're saying if it's only for Gashmias. I keep saying that again and again. If you're not looking at the Tachas Ha'achron, the next world, where the Neshama is going to go, where there's going to be Netzach Netzachim, the emistic life, then what's the point of this world? This world is a pros door for the next world. Everybody knows that. This world is a pros door for the Traklin, for the next world, which is a palace. That doesn't mean you can't live in this world and you have to live in this world. But you should be preparing for this world. And don't put all your eggs into this basket of this Olam Hazeh. Eggs are expensive now.
Still in Costco.
Oh, so I was thinking about Costco. Thank you. Very good, very good. Man. Very good. Let's focus here. That's insane. Okay, FYI. Okay, back to the Torah. Umaha nachas ruach l'Hashem Yisbarach mitfilaso. And what's the nachas ruach from the Tati in the Himmel? Kadosh Baruch Hu. What's the nachas ruach he gets from this type of tefillah? Shem spali she'itin l'Hashem Yisbarach parnaso mamon. Kadosh Baruch Hu can give me parnaso, can give me mamon. It's like the kid, and we all have them, who just constantly asks for everything again and again, and another candy, and another toy, and another, like, without stopping, without anything else. Like, I want to be a better boy. I want to work harder. I want to study math harder. Can I also have a candy? Because that would help me with my studying. No one says that. Maybe they get smart, but rarely. They just ask, can I have a candy? Can I have a toy? Can I have a candy? Can I have a toy? Can I watch this? Can I watch that? Right? All day. What kind of nachas ruach does a parent get from that? Eventually he might say, okay, take it. Okay, enough already. That's not because he wants to. He just throws it at him. Right? You have to always remember, the way that we deal with our kids, the Kadosh Baruch Hu deals with us. So if we ask a Kadosh Baruch Hu the same way, now we think we're so more mature, because we don't want toys and candy, we want money, and money, and money, right? So that's mature, because we need that to live. Because we have a family, The kid in his realm of existence, to him, the candy and the toys is like our money. It's the same thing. That's his life. His life is the candy and the toys. So to him, that's life. And to us, money is life. There's no difference in the father's eyes to the kid or Kadosh Baruch Hu's eyes to us. So if all you're saying is have, give, there's better ways to go. He says, right? Lamalas taivas bitno. The tefillah is a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Basically, what we're saying is like this. If we say it in other words, say we try to be like fancy about it. Kadosh Baruch Hu, I need parnasa. Right? You'll say fancy. It's a Hebrew word, right? Because I need parnasa. But if we would actually say what you mean, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I want you to fill my belly with my taivas. That's basically what you're saying. Look, a little bit go to my family. I'll make sure that they have a bed to sleep on, some clothing. Kadosh Baruch Hu, I want you to fill me up with my taivas that I want. And now a taiva could be, by the way, get me out of my stress, get me out of my worry. In a certain way. I have a taiva not to worry. Right? So just give me the money so I can stop worrying already. That's my taiva. I want to just be, because really what it is, taiva is my taiva is just to sit and do nothing. I want menuchas nefesh, just sit with my feet in the sand. That's what my taiva is. Therefore, I need you to give me money so I'm not worried, so I can just sit in the sand. That's what it is. That's what you're saying. Hashem is Baruch Yodeh Umevin Kshekol Mashem Bevakesh Eino Tov L'Fon of Klal. Kadosh Baruch Hu knows, he understands. That which you're requesting, just the Gashmis, that's not Tov. That's not good. Eitzadas Tov V'Ra. Right? That's going to be more the Ra side. Kimi Achash Eino Mistakal Tachas Bevadei Parnas Vashir Shalohi Bechinis Osher Shomer the Bible of the Raso. Rahman al-Sam. Because since this Jew, unfortunately, is not looking at the Tachlis, the purpose of life itself, for the next world, and to get to the next world is through Torah mitzvahs, and he's not asking for anything to do with Torah mitzvahs, he's only asking for Gashmias, then all of the money, all the pranos and the ashiras is considered as if, it's a pasuk says, that the wealth of a person is gathered to his harm, to his detriment. Very often a person gathers money, a lot of money, and ends up being bad for him. He ends up using it silly, he thinks he has power, whatever it is. So if you're not having any kavana for anything about the Chayi Olam, the next world, something in Ruchni, something, and that's the reason why you have the Gashmi, then you're just about Gashmi, and it's not Tov. It's not bringing Nachas Ruach to Kadosh Baruch Hu. That's not what Barech Aleinu was supposed to be asking for. Barech Aleinu Parnasa, right? Most popular bracha, then Shema Kolena, obviously. The two most popular brachas, because that's where you get to ask for money. But if your only Inyan is just the money itself, there's what to be gained, there's what to grow from. But listen, he says like this. So if you daven only for the needs of the body, and with no kavana of something with kima Torah and avodas Hashem and something, it is not good. We need to change this. And very often a person doesn't even get exactly what they want. Because when all you do is ask for Gashmi, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, that's not good for you. Can I have candy? Can I have candy? It's not good for you. I can't give you the candy. Now, if you bother enough, maybe you'll get it. But that's not good for you. So Tati has to say no because it's not good for you. It's good that he's saying no. But we don't see that way. And that's why we get a lot of no's in our tefillah. And therefore, that's why we think tefillah doesn't work. And I don't want to. I don't daven. I come in like a droopy Drew. That's what happens. It doesn't work anyway because I didn't get my $1 million. I mean, that doesn't work. So I'll be droopy. That's because we're not seeing things right.
So then in that case, how do we explain a relatively tricky situation when we daven for spiritual needs and it's just there's not come?
So let's learn about spiritual needs. But when you're in the world of the spirit, if you're in the world of the spiritual needs, then the hope is that you're also davening with Amunah. And Amunah means a person believes that the Kadosh Baruch Hu decides what's good for him, what's not good for him. And the person's davening just for Gashmis, he doesn't get it, he gets upset. Because he's not involved in the world of the Amunah. Just give me what I want. If you're davening for a Ruchnis, we're going to get to that now, we want to connect Tefillah. Tefillah is not really about asking. Tefillah is about connecting. Right? Connecting to a Kadosh Baruch Hu and Avodas Hashem. Part of that is Emunah, Bitachon. Trusting that a Kadosh Baruch Hu knows what's good for us. That has to be worked on a lot. But you can't even start working on that if you're davening just for the Gashmi. Yes? So far so good?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen to what he says. We're not done yet, actually, with this category. We're almost done. And in these types of tefillas, the Zohar Kodesh calls him, and you've heard this before, tzavchin keklovin, you're like screaming like a dog, hav, give. Hav lanchai, give me life. Hav lamazona, give me food. Hav. Give. That's what you sound like to Kodesh Baruch Hu, a dog. So sometimes he throws you a piece of meat. Vein Lashem Yisbarach nachas to me a tefillah kazos, so Kodesh Baruch Hu does not really get a nachas from this. Shil tzarkei haguf, which is just for the needs of the body. Oh, now let's go to level 2. If a person's kavanah in his davening for Gashmis is so you could serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu better, so you could actually learn. And by the way, you can't trick the system. A Kadosh Baruch Hu knows. He knows what your kavanas are. He knows if you're going to keep your end of the deal. And that doesn't mean if you daven Kadosh Baruch Hu, can you give me $1 million so I can give 50% to tzedakah? Right, like the lottery guy. We had this joke already. Where each 10 Jews all dying for the lottery. Each one's trying to outbid how much they're going to give for tzedakah to try to buy a Kadosh Baruch Hu's, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I'll get 60%. The next guy says, no, I'll give 70%. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. But at least the person should be davening with the kavanah that the reason why he wants Gashmias is to Mekayim the Torah. In whatever way that is. Whether it's tzedakah, which is very tricky, we'll see. Whether it's through learning, davening, whatever it is. Person who davens for children, he davens for life, he davens for mezonas and parnasa. The kol kavanaso, why is he davening for food? Why is he davening for money? So he could do the will of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So he can really do the mitzvahs. He be'emes wants to learn more. He wants to do more mitzvahs. He wants to not be stressed out and have to only buy the level 3 esrog. He really wants to get the nice esrog. Be'emes, he's sincere. So ve'im kavana, so be'emes b'shvil zeh. Rabbi Nachman has to say, Rabbi Nachman has to say, because I'm so pashut, this is where it gets tricky. If his kavana for the Gashmis is really for the Ruchnias, b'shvil zeh b'vada yesh Hashem is nachas ruach mitfilah kazos. Kadosh Baruch Hu vada gets nachas ruach. Because now you're asking to serve him. Right? I want Gashmis a Kadosh Baruch Hu so I can serve you. Aval, afal pikein tefillah kazos b'vada l'matmei Torah. But so for this type of tefillah, although it brings a nachas ruach, is still lower than Torah. Utfeilah la Torah, and it's subordinate to Torah. Why? Logically, since the tefillah is for the needs of the body, and the needs of the body to actually learn Torah, so just for the needs of the body itself is really nothing. Why does the body have any needs? Today you're here and tomorrow you're in the kever. And the real reason is the only reason why this tefillah has any chiyas, give me money so I can learn your Torah. So the whole point of this person is being truthful is that this tefillah is to get ultimately to Torah, and therefore the Gashmis is subordinate, this tefillah is subordinate, it's tafel to The Torah. Makes sense. That which a person has kavana in his tefillah, that the needs of his body will help him be mekayim Torah. So nimsa shetfila kazos bevadei tefillah Torah. This tefillah is certainly tafel secondary to Torah. Kia ikar hu Torah, because in this person's mind, which is the truth, is the ikar is the Torah. That's what he wants. Raku mispal take guf. Just he davens for the needs of the body, kadesh yuchal l'kayim Torah, in order that he can be mekayim the Torah. Yes. Therefore, this tefillah is lower than Torah. Listen to this. Now, you might say, okay, fine. I'll add a little bit of Kadosh Baruch Hu. I'll daven for money so I can learn.
That's smarter.
Right, and we're getting smarter.
Game the system.
Which you have to be serious about, because when a Kadosh Baruch Hu gives you a little more money, what happens? So Kadosh Baruch Hu says, okay, fine, you know what? Fine. I'll give you extra money. So the guy makes some extra money. Now he has a choice to make. Do I reinvest my profits and try to work more and get more money? Or do I sit and try to learn for an extra 30 minutes? I made more money. I don't need to work as hard. The guy's like, no, I got to make more money. Because I make more money, then I can learn more. I can have more time to learn. So why would I stop to learn now? Listen to this chokhmah. Kadosh Baruch Hu gives him more money. So if I stop now and I spend an extra half hour learning a day, very nice. But if I take the money that I made and I reinvest it and I work harder, I could end up with an hour and a half every day to learn. So he doesn't learn. But Kadosh Baruch Hu, I'm davening to you for money so I can learn. But just not yet. Just Kadosh Baruch Hu, you wait. Just wait. If you give me a little bit more, so the Kadosh Baruch Hu says, you know what, fine, I'll give you one last chance. So Kadosh Baruch Hu says, you know what, I'll give him the extra money. You know what, an hour and a half learning a day, another Jew learning another hour and a half. So he gives the guy the more money, and now the guy can take off an hour and a half a day. So the guy says, Kadosh Baruch Hu, if I reinvest this money, I can learn for 5 hours a day. Tippish.
What's wrong with starting slow and ultimately working your way up?
That's the goal. But if a person is davening, honestly, for the money, so he can learn, let's say, and now he has the opportunity to learn and he doesn't do it, he's a shakar, he's a liar. He's a liar. He's really just tricking himself. And sometimes the Kadosh Baruch Hu does give the person the money to test him and to show him that, I know your kavanas are. I know your kavanas are. That's why I said no 1,000 times before, and I'm going to say 1,000 times afterwards, because I gave you the opportunity. Be very careful. If you daven for this, the Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to test you. And you don't know how he's going to test you. Be very careful. It's not pashut. When I was making that joke, that wasn't a joke. That actually happens with people all the time. It's not as, emphasized.
That's what you should do. I'm davening. Now I'm learning. Davening's a higher level. Give me the money so I can daven.
Yeah, okay. Good luck with that one. That's even harder.
More money, I'll daven better.
Yeah, let's see. Right, but it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Let's see. Let's see a person daven from Gashmi so he could daven better. I mean, Kadosh Baruch Hu, listen. If I wasn't so stressed about money, I'd be able to daven. Right? That's this type of tefillah. Help me have some money so I can daven better. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to test you also. Let's see.
Then you see it work.
Now, the person's going to make... So Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to drop him a few extra $1,000. And the guy's going to still job. He's going to still be stressed. I need more. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, I gave you $5,000. Why couldn't... Where was the simcha? Where was that karsatil? Kadosh Baruch Hu, I need more than that. Then I'll daven. Come. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, no, you don't get it. That's not how it works. Every dollar I give you, you should be davening with a little bit more hakar satov at least. But we don't do that. No. I want, when I get to 10 million, then I can daven properly. Then I can. See, if a person is going to die, see, you have to be honest. It's very tricky. And we're going to talk about the klippas, the chitzonis. When you daven, it's a certain way. It's better to daven straight for gashmias than to trick yourself that you daven for gashmias for ruchnias. If you're not really daven for ruchnias, just be honest. It's better to be honest and know that you're on level 1, hoping one day to be on level 2, than to trick yourself that you're on level 2. Because the Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to test you. He's going to test you. He's going to see, are you being honest? And if you're not ready for it, you're going to fail. And then you might not get another chance. It's Very careful. It's not. It's serious. We're talking about serious stuff over here. People think davening is like a joke. It's like fluff. Even the guys who davening is not about getting stuff, but it's much deeper than that. It's gavo mode. But even if you're the type of guy who's davening to get the stuff, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Kadosh Baruch Hu does make things happen, but you have to have the eyes to see. And if you're really just a trickster and a chakran, and your eyes are just in the world of Gashmis, you will not see when he's giving you even a little bit, because you're always waiting for the more. You can't even see the little bit. Because you want the big deal. So Kadosh Baruch Hu gave you a little one. That's not what I was davening for, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, I didn't ask you exactly how you wanted it. I'm going to give it to you the way I want to give it to you. And now let's see how you do. Not a joke. It's the real deal. Kadosh Baruch Hu does talk back to us, but we don't even realize it because we're always waiting for a little bit more. Not a joke. He says, right? He says, don't ask too much for Gashmis for the Ruchnias. Right? Because
what was that? Don't ask too much what?
This level of tefillah, where you're asking for Gashmis for the Ruchnias, don't do it too much. In the Harach, don't do too much. Because if you do too much, you're really just asking for the Gashmis. So be very careful. Right? That's why you need the Amunah. In this level, you need a high level of Amunah. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu.
What about asking for the Gashmis to support the Ruchnias?
Okay.
No, there's no test on you, really.
What do you mean?
So what's basically saying?
If you get, when the next guy that comes to you for tzedakah and asks you to support his yeshiva, and you're like, I give you $5. The guy's like, what do you mean? Hakadosh Baruch Hu sent me to get $72 from you. Oh, 72, I don't know. Same thing, you think that's like that also?
Yeah.
There's enough guys that go around.
Can't fool God.
You can't fool their Moshe Shalom.
That's easy.
We only fool ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to be honest and know you're on level 1, hoping to one day get to level 2, than to trick yourself and be on level 2. Because then you'll trick yourself your entire life. Lavan, I always say, Lavan thought he was a tzaddik. Bilam thought he was a tzaddik. They mamish thought they were tzaddik. Korach. Also. But the Spitz is Bilam and Lavan. They're actually Gilgal each other. They thought they were tzaddikim. Lavan thought that Yaakov was wronging him. How could you leave? How could you leave and just not tell me? Bilam says, I talked to God. What do you mean? Yeah, you're also a mushchus, and you and your behema, But that he didn't see, because I talked to God. God talked to me, so it must be that I'm a tzaddik. So that's the entire. You can never change. You'll never change anything. If you think you're a tzaddik and you're wrong, you'll never change. Why? Because you think you're a tzaddik. Everybody else is wrong. It's better to be honest on level 1 and work your way up. Chazal says, it says in the Gemara Shabbos, "Manichin chai olam, v'oskim b'chai shah." You're leaving everlasting life. You're not learning, and you're just davening for Gashmias. Don't do that too much. Because the ikr of sof, even if you're davening for the Gashmias, the ikr is for the Ruchnias, for the Torah. The davening for the Gashmias, even if it's a Ruchnias, sof, it's called Chai Shah. It's for this world. Happens to be you need some Gashmias so you can learn Torah, and you get Chai Olam Haba, Shal Torah. But again, the ikr is the Ruchnias.
Like davening for a house in that case. Like you're like, I need a nice house, whatever. Like that would make sense in that case.
The what?
For Litzarche, like learning and everything.
Could be. It could. It doesn't have to be. That person says, "Listen, I have a family, and to help my avodas Hashem, and that we spread out and we have more room. Because we need to get a house. It certainly could be, but a person has to be very careful with his kavanas. Because we want to be honest and let HaKadosh Baruch Hu choose when we're ready for that which we're asking for. And if we're not ready for it, then it's better he says no. It's better he says no. That takes emunah. All of davening is based on emunah. This is one of the problems that we have. Is if we jump to tefillah without really having emunah. Can't do that. Who are you davening to then? What, you're davening to the God who you get to choose what you get? Then he's not God, then you're God. If you really believe that he's God, then he gets to choose what's best because he knows, he's all-knowing. Should I use the fancy words? Omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, thank you. Infinite. It's so 1990s.
Good one.
We got ChatGPT now. We could get fancier words. Come on, yeah.
Yeah, deep seek now.
Who?
The Chinese one.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. This is beyond me. I don't even want to know.
The stock market.
We have to be very careful.
Deep
V'alkein, deep seek sounds like a Pneumis Atar. Deep
It does.
seek.
It does.
No?
You're right.
Pneumis. To be Doirish. V'alkein bevade ein laniach ha'ikr. Therefore, don't leave the ikr shuchai olam. V'lharach b'tava shuchai shav. Therefore, you don't leave the world of the Ruchnius, of Torah, and just deal with the Gashmias. Don't do that. Utfila kazos, this type of tefillah again, for the Gashmias, for the Ruchnius, tzarich shmira gedola. It's a real shmira, real guarding. Be very, very careful. Shlois achzu ba hachitzonim. So the chitzonim don't get you. Because when you're asking for Gashmias, what's your kavanah, sir? Oh, I want to learn. You sure that's all? Is that it? Because if you really want to learn, I have 15 kashas on you. Why do you need $15 million? Why haven't you learned yet? A lot of kashas on you if that's really what yours is, right? The chitzonim will get you. You don't want it to be that the legs are going down to mavis. You're tricking yourself. Since you're davening lamaisa for parnasa for gashmias, but you're saying and you're thinking that your kavanas for Torah, bekal easily tuchal hasitra acher lis aches bo. It's easy for the other side, the Shachli, it's a horror, the Malchamovis, pick your poison. It's easy for him to grab onto you, lahatos kavanoso, and to just tilt your kavan a little bit. That you're only davening for tzarchei guf. Under the guise, it's for ruchnius. Yeah, no. I want to be about, I want to read, my whole tachas in life is to be about tzedakah. I just need 50 million. The Sitra Achra is squeezing your brain.
A person does not have to start at 50 million.
Exactly. So why is this guy asking for 50 million? Why is he even 10 million? Because he wants Gashmis. That's what he wants. And if a person truly had Amunah, which is really the basis of Tefillah, then he'd be able to always be satisfied with what he has, right? What's Amunah 101? Amunah 101. Kadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. Whatever I have is from him. Right? Bitachon is to trust that and to feel at ease with that. But Amunah is, I believe that Kadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. And I believe in him. So if I have a little bit of Amunah, then I should be satisfied to some degree with what I have. Of course, we could always ask. But if you don't get, fall back on your Amunah. So already, by how we ask in our tefillah, it already shows about our level of Amunah, which already shows whether we have Kedaven or not. Because if you don't have Amunah, you don't have the main component of tefillah. So then nothing's going to work. And you might be in big trouble when a Kadosh Baruch Hu tests you. Because when if Sitra Achar gets you, and it's Achiz V'lahatas Kavanos, when he changes your Kavan even a little bit, because it's very, very fine. Right? If you need to go straight, if I need to go to this piece of wood right in front of me, right over there, right next to the window, that brown piece of wood, right? That's like, I have 1 inch. If I'm off by 1 inch, by the time I get there, I'm going to be by that. I'm going to be 20 feet away, right? It's so slight. So if I'm going saying my kavana means direction. If my kavana is for ruchnius, it's really very narrow because the world of gashmias is really, really big. The ruchnius is, unfortunately, in this world is a little bit smaller. So if you're saying it's for ruchnius, but the Yetzirah tilts you just 1 inch over, by the time you won't even get to the ruchnius because you'll just be in the world of gashmias. You'll get stuck in that place. But you'll think that you want ruchnius. V'alkein kishat tefillah she bechinas malchus, she bechinas zu. And therefore, since tefillah is the bechinas malchus, I don't want to get into all these things now. Azahi bechinas achor ba'achor. Just skip this right now. She devuka la Torah tefillah la. Ki ein la part of ne'atzma, ki b'la Torah ein la inyan klal. The parnasa without the Torah it's not an inyan. It's not kedai. It's fake. V'tzricheli is bechinas achor ba'achor, shali is achs v'achitzonim. Again, these are deeper concepts which we could explain, but I don't want to right now. Ki atfil kazo Tzricha shmir mechitzan ma'od me'achish hakol hatfila v'shil tzarki go for action mecham v'shil kimoter. Okay, be very careful with this level of tefillah when you're davening the gashmis for the ruchnis. So be very, very careful. Okay, one more level. Yeah.
So, you explain the concept of something where a person davens for the bigger picture in terms of serving Hashem, but what about on a basic standpoint?
So that's maybe
Such
the
a-
next. Maybe that's the next. No, let's see the next. Let's see the next. Os dal. Aval, says Rabbi Nosson, Iker hatfila shlema, the real tefillah that we should be davening for, which I like to call a mature tefillah, hu kisha'adam espar rak al tzarki nishmos u'batzma. A person davens for his neshama. He davens for avodas Hashem. He davens for midos tovos. He davens to perfect himself. Neshamadik. Dainu shekol tefillosav lizkos liyiras Hashem avodaso yizbar. Because bro, help me be a Yarei Shemayim. Help me serve you. Help me daven. Help me learn. If we understood anything, why does everybody daven for money? It's very simple. Why daven for money? Because money will buy you happiness. Very simple. But if we understand that we do, the happiness is not bought by money. You can't buy an emotion with something gashmis. I don't know if we've discussed this in this chabura. Those are two different worlds. Money is gashmi. Happiness is ruchni. It's an emotion. So we think, because we make money, it makes us happy, we think that's how it works. It's not how it works. It's two different worlds. Eventually the money runs dry. Or it doesn't give me exactly what I want. Emotions are deeper than money. If we would dive into a Kadosh Baruch Hu to perfect our midos, then we could perfect our midah of simcha without any money. And you could have your money, you could have your simcha without stressing out. But people, what's the problem? People like the Gashmis. They just like the Gashmis. That's what they want. They want the Gashmis. Because if I told you, listen, I will give you a pill right now. You're not going to have any money in your bank account. You're not going to have any money. You'll have the basic clothing, the basic food. Everything will be basic. Nothing more than basic. But you will be happy if you have this pill. For real. First of all, a person probably won't even believe that's possible. How could that be? How could you live a basic lifestyle and be happy? It's impossible. So first of all, he won't even believe it. Believe it, so he believes it. That it's possible. You think he would take the pill?
I would.
Chaim, you I know. Your name is also Chaim.
Well, I've learned that over the course of time.
You have.
I've learned that over throughout the course of a lifetime.
I'm so happy that you learned that. Not everybody learns that. Some people drag around their entire life relearning or making the same mistakes. But I think a lot of people wouldn't be able to take it. Even though they believe it. I know it's true. I really believe it. I can't do it. How could you're saying basic? Like I'm just gonna eat like Cheerios and milk? Like not even Honey Nut Cheerios? And I'll be happy? No, I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. You're saying I'm only gonna get like the basic black suit, tie, whatever. Basic, but I'll be happy. I can't. I need the double-breasted zach. I need the Streimel thingy. Can't do that. I can't. That thing. That's all ruchnis, by the way. Okay, check. That's all ruchnis. It's not kashrus. But I don't think a person can do that. But the emes is that's really truly where this influence lies.
Well, aren't people going to need some sort of kashmirs in this world once in a while?
You're gonna get basic kashmirs. You're having clothing. I'm not saying the person's not gonna make clothing. He's gonna have the basic level of kashmirs. The basic
Store brand.
store brand.
Walmart.
It might not be the exact temperature you like always, but it'll be within a range of 2 or 3 degrees. Your food won't be the best. It'll be
Good enough to eat.
gonna be, but you'll be actually happy. Which is, by the way, this is the way you get the happiness. Is when you stop with all the narishkeit, extra wants. But anyway, let's get back to the Torah here. So if a person would daven for Yiras Hashem, for midos, to be able to learn Torah, to have time to learn Torah, to want to learn Torah, right? You don't have to. You could, because I don't even want to learn. I'll be honest with you, because I don't want to, but I want to learn. And we had this talk.
Good start.
It's a good start. And you know what? If you're honest, because I don't even want to learn, but I want to learn. Who cares where you start? At least that's honest. Be honest. Kotzker emes.
And Uman, this big Mishpir gave a shir. He was talking about educating your kids. And he says, the way you do it is you give them a piece of chocolate and you say, you're going to do exposures for 5 minutes. And you're going to ask Kadosh Baruch Hu how much. You're going to spend those 5 minutes asking for that chocolate. And he says, well, everyone's like, what does that mean? The kid wants the chocolate, so I'm going to have him daven, like God, whatever. He's like, the kid wants a chocolate. The idea is like, now whenever he does exposures, he knows like, I'm going to be honest about what I want, what I need. Because it's not going to be the piece of candy when he's 5 years old. When he's 20, it's going to be a much different story. It's going to be 30, it's a different story.
I hear that. Makes me a little bit nervous, but I do hear the point.
That's all Gashmias.
Yeah, if his bonus turns into a Gashmias fest, then.
Well, when it starts at 5 years old.
Right.
You know,
It's a start. You get him started.
But the problem is that whatever we teach kids at
Yeah.
5 years old actually stays.
Right.
Because that's how we're still davening like 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
That makes, again, it makes me a little bit nervous. Okay, but I understand what the point was. Kamosha David, what's the kind of tefillah? Like David HaMelech. I have one shaila, I have one inyan. Shivti b'veis Hashem kol yemei chayai. Achas shalti b'veis Hashem os havakish. I have this one bakasha. He doesn't ask for parnasa. Shivti b'veis Hashem kol yemei chayai. Let me sit in your house. Because if you'd sit in a Kadosh Baruch Hu's house, then you'd have everything. If you're with a Kadosh Baruch Hu, there's nothing chaser by the Beis Melech. There's nothing lacking in the Beis Melech. So ask for it all. Just, I want to be with you, Kadosh Baruch Hu. If a person had 100% Amunah, he'd be satisfied with what he has. I wouldn't need to ask for money and this and this and this and 1,000 things. I have one tefillah, Kadosh Baruch Hu, let me have high level of Amunah to just trust you.
Is that Shiftu B'Veis Hashem also happiness?
If you're with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, Vada, it's everything. It's everything. Now, a person might have to be honest. It could be that he doesn't even know what that means exactly, so that's just like, throwing it up. It's still good to ask. But imagine, instead of asking for 1,000 things in Gashmis, you could just ask for one thing in Ruchnis, and it answers everything else. That's a mature tefillah. That's a tefillah for connection. That's a tefillah for his chibur with a Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's what tefillah is supposed to be. This. Achashaltim es Hashem v'asa v'akesh. K'mosh Gazer Rabbeinu, Rabbi Nachman says, our mimer, in this mimer of Rabbi Baruchana, v'shaklis v'slaltoi, v'anchi b'kavsad d'rukia, it's Torah over there, that the Iker davening is davening for Ruchnis, not Gashmis. Utfilah is also in the tefillah Torah. This tefillah is not tafel to Torah. What's this tefillah asking for? This tefillah is asking for dveikus. This tefillah is asking for ruchnis. What's Torah? It's also ruchnis. So this tefillah is not lower than Torah. This tefillah is not lower than Torah. Adarabah. If you learn that the tachlis of Torah is dveikus, if you learn that way, and in this base medrash we could say that we're not going to get shot. That the tachlis of all Torah is to become davik to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Even the Ramchal says it. Torah is the greatest way for dveikus, let's say. But let's say I could daven straight for dveikus. So you can't do that all the time. Meaning, you won't be able to do that as much as learning. But at the moments that you're davening for dveikus to Kodesh Baruch Hu, it is no less than Torah. And it could be even a little bit higher. Because it's straight dveikus. You're not asking for any gashmis. Nothing. Tefillah kazos ain't a tefillah Torah. It's not subordinate to Torah. Adarab, tefillah kazos ikar kiyama Torah. This tefillah is what's going to be mekayim the Torah. Because if I have shivti b'veis Hashem kol yemei chayai, if I have a connection to Kadosh Baruch Hu, if I have a moon, if I have bitachon, if I have a havas Hashem, if I have midas tovos, then I can learn Torah. If I have these basic building blocks, then I can keep Torah happily. And I don't need all the money in the world to then say, okay, now I can sit down and learn finally, because now I have $50 million. You don't need any of that stuff. Because a person just wants the Vekas. He just wants Avos Hashem. And how can he perform that after his davening? Through learning Torah, through keeping mitzvahs, doing chesed, whatever it may be. Serving Kodesh Baruch Hu. Because all you're asking for is to truly be Mekayim the Torah. That's what you want. She says, Iker Shlemus Torah. That's the Shlemus of Torah. Kilo Medrashu Iker Elamaisa. Because the learning is not the Iker, the doing of the Torah is the Iker. And here, I'm davening to be able to Mekayim the Torah. Now, of course, to learn, but ultimately to do. I want to be double to Kodesh Baruch. I want to serve you whatever way I could serve you. That's called Kima Torah.
the person is going to need basic needs in this world in order so that he can earn it.
100%. So let me ask you a question. You have a king. You have a king.
Like,
And then you have a servant come. And the king says to the servant, what would you like? I will grant you any wish. So the servant says, I have one request. Only one? Only one. All I want to do, king, is I want to serve you. I want to serve you. So the king says, okay. Well, to serve me, you're going to need money. You're going to need a house. You're going to need a family. You're going to need all the things in life so you could serve me. Right? So if you just request, and you have to be honest with this also, but if you only request to serve a Kodesh Baruch Hu, he'll make sure you have what you need so you could serve him. It might not be the top quality meat. Maybe it will. I don't know. But maybe it won't be. It might not be the best car or the best house or the best stuff, but it'll be enough to serve him. And if really, be'emes, you want to serve him, so he'll give you what you need. And if a person really wants to serve him, he'll be honest enough to know that sometimes the Gashmis takes him away from serving the Kodesh Baruch Hu. If you have too much money, you might spend time playing with your money and jumping into your coins. If you have too nice of a car, you might go for a few more joy rides and you might miss the shear. How many of you know? Right? The person who truly wants to serve a Kodesh Baruch Hu is satisfied with what a Kodesh Baruch Hu gives him, and a Kodesh Baruch Hu will give him. And even if he doesn't have his basic needs, he still says, "Okay, this is what a Kodesh Baruch Hu decides." So now I have to stress out and I have to work out. Not stress. I have to work harder because I have to actually put food on my table for my kids. I'm not going to learn. If that's what a Kodesh Baruch Hu wants. That's what he wants. I really want to serve him, and he wants me to serve him this way by going to work. Fine, so be it. But it's limited. You can only serve a Kodesh Baruch Hu here in the base medrash. It's crazy. What happens if the king wants to send you over there? He wants to send you over here. I don't know. Who knows why the king sends us to where he sends us? But if your eyes are on the Ruchnius, then you'll be happy to go wherever you have to go. You're Shliach Hashem. If your eyes on the Gashmius, then you're selfish. Then you only want what you want. You have expectations, and then you're angry when you don't get what you want. So this is the shleimus of tefillah, and this is the tefillah that even Gavo Meitar. Davening dafka for Ruchnius. Okay, he goes into more. I think we should pause now, but you understand. And to the mechazik person, if you daven for the Ruchnius, it's emes. If you daven for the Ruchnius, it takes you away from all your stresses and your pressures. And you go in you don't have to go in as a droopy Jew. Because if you daven to daven, if you're davening to daven, let's imagine, right? Not davening to learn. You're going to daven Kodesh Baruch Hu. I'm davening to you today because I want to daven. How could you not be motivated to daven? If you're davening for money, so you might not be so motivated because show me the money and then I'll daven. But if you're davening to daven, you just do the thing that you're asking to do. You're going to go in droopy when you're davening to daven, then you're a crazy person.
so why do so many people daven? Because they need money, or they need clothes, or they need...
Because they only know level 1. They were only taught level 1. They don't know there's more than that. And that's why Rabbi Nachman, Rabbi Nelson, and the Tzaddikim are teaching us there's more than level 1.